That's really soft. Why is that? Because we actually measured it at 260 kilometers an hour GPS speed. That's why. Oh, I can't. I just don't understand it. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we've got the all-new 4th generation Audi S3 to review, to drive, and to show you guys. And today, well, of course, we're going to take a lap around it. I'm going to show you a couple of new and cool things on this new Audi S3, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to receive updates when we upload a new video, so you never miss one. And you can also follow us on Instagram if you like, for some behind the scenes footage. All right, so as I said, it's the 4th generation Audi S3, and it is all new. And it is, well, you do see that it is a new car, and it is sharper than ever, if you ask me. I think this is a very good looking car, especially those new headlight units combined with that grille, those lines on the bonnet as well, the aggressive air intakes down there. I think this is a very, very good design. One problem I just noticed, that this is real, this is functional, this air intake, and this is not. That's just closed. That's a shame. Don't like that, but I do like that one. I think that looks better as well, but I think that they closed the other one for emissions stuff. Anyway, new grille with that new shape we saw on the Audi A6 and A8 as well. This car has, we don't have a spec sheet, so I don't know exactly which options this car has, but I'm going to take a guess, an educated guess, that there are multiple black packages available on this car, because this as standard is silver around the grille, but this one has it in black. So are the mirror caps and these parts down there, but the Audi logo and the S3 logo and the tailpipes are chrome. So I think you can go even further with another black package which would black that all out, because I did see that online. So I do like the fact that you can customize it like that. As I said, new headlight units as well, with a completely new design, with this extra part of LEDs, which I do think looks cool. Yeah, as I said, it's a nice and aggressive front end. We've got some closed off intakes here as well. I thought they used to be open, but anyway. The wheels. We've got a new design wheel as well. I do quite like this one. It is an optional wheel. This is 19-inch as standard. You get the 18-inch wheels, and we have optional red brake calipers as well. As I said, we've got those black mirror caps, and at the rear, new rear lights, a new rear bumper with a built-in diffuser. As I said, chrome tailpipes, which are completely real. That's a real exhaust. Yes, good job Audi. They do know how to do it, because the Audi S6 TDI has basically the same tailpipes, but they are just closed off. This has real old school tailpipes. It's not even a part of the bumper, it's just an exhaust. Who would have thought that we would be so excited by just seeing a couple of real tailpipes? Okay, so the engine. This is where it stops being new, basically. It is the EA888 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine we see in, well, across the range of VW Group products. That's really soft. Why is that? That's weird. With some red accents. And well, there's a story behind this. Or, well, there's a story here. It delivers 310 horsepower and 400 newton meters of torque, which is 10 up from the last one, which had 300 horsepower, which is 10 down from the one before that, which also had 310 horsepower. So they had to cut it down to 300 for emission stuff. So the 0 to 100 time on paper went from 4.6 in 2018 to 4.7 in 2019, and now with this 2020-2021 to 4.8. So it gained 10 horsepower and it lost 0.1 of a second from 0 to 100, which is strange. But we actually measured 4.7 in these conditions, which is wet. So I think in the dry you would be able to do 4.6, but on paper it's 4.8, which is 0.2 of a second slower than the last 310 horsepower S3, which is weird, I think. This color, I don't know if you can see that with Audis under the bonnet. We're going to check really quickly because I really like this color. No. I don't know which color this is, so if you like it, go look it up online, because I do think that it fits the S3 really well. We'll start it up so I can straighten the steering wheel and close the door. This is a big step up. This is all new, and well, I have to say, I think this is very, very successful. I think this is really, really good and cool, modern and luxurious. It's just, it ticks all the boxes for me. Now, there are a couple of things I want to show you. One is the door, because I absolutely love the way they have incorporated all these angles with that aluminium here, which goes into the door handle, which is really nice, and then this door handle that goes down in the same angle again. It just all works really well. We've got these seats, which are really nice as well. The S seats with Alcantara and Napa leather with that nice stitching in there. Yeah, it's a really good seat. It's a good compromise between sportiness and comfort. And another thing I want to show you is the dash, because there are a couple of really cool things in here. Firstly, these two vents, I really like that. It gives you this cockpit feeling, almost like you're in a Lamborghini Huracan or something like that. It just works really well. Below that, we've got the screen, of course, you know that from other Audis. And then we've got the rest of the dash. Again, with all those different materials, it just all works really well. And another really good thing is that we've just got the climate below that with buttons. I've said this in my A6 review, I think. The new A6, which has that double digital dash touchscreen. This is better. You want to be able to just press a button and just work it when it's at night and you're driving. You don't want to touch and feel everything. It just doesn't work. This is better. Climate should always have buttons. That's my philosophy. This is, well, we know this is all good. And then down here we've got a new gear lever, which seems to be all the rage now, to have this little button, which I don't really like. I prefer just a gear lever. And we've lost a manual. So you can only get this car with an S-tronic gearbox. The last one was also available with a manual gearbox. And then we've got the volume, well, the audio button right here. So you've got your volume, mute, next, previous, and off and on. And it is like I'm operating an iPod from the 90s or the zeros. That's the same button. You turn it around, you swipe around it to turn on and off the volume, and you press it just, what is that? What's wrong with a regular knob? I just don't understand the need and the want for reinventing things that just work fine. We've got a little button on the steering wheel, a little wheel. That's why, I can't. I just don't understand it. Okay, here we go. We're going to take it for a drive, and I'm going to tell you why this is the best hot hatch in this class. Because it is sort of in a class of its own with the BMW M135i and the Mercedes AMG A35. We're going to go to dynamic mode because my throttle is completely dead. Okay, here we go. Because those three are the most expensive ones. They are only available with an automatic gearbox, four-wheel drive. I think that's a little bit of a class on its own. They have broken free from the traditional hot hatch, which should always have a manual and front-wheel drive, if you ask me. It should be light and it should be fun to drive. This is none of those. It is heavy, it has an automatic, and it has four-wheel drive, the quattro system, but it's a hull deck system, which means that it only powers the rear wheels if needed. But from those three, I think this car, the S3, has the best sense of what it wants to be. It's the most clear to me what it wants to be. It's a very grown-up hot hatch, which is very suitable for businessmen going to work really quickly. And I think that Audi have nailed that. I think they nail those kind of things more often, but with this one I just really like it because of that, because it just works the way it should work. It is very nice in here, it's comfortable when you want it to be comfortable. We've got the optional adaptive dampers in this one, which means that it's 15 millimeters lower than the regular A3, and it has adaptive dampers, which means you can switch between comfort and dynamic. Okay, sound check. No, I didn't forget to turn on the exhaust or something. That's it, in dynamic mode. Exhaust sound is, well, practically absent. But that too contributes to my point. I think this is the ultimate daily driver hot hatch. The drivetrain feels familiar, but it does its work. It won't surprise you, but it does its work well. The drivetrain also feels less like empty or light than the drivetrain in the A35, the AMG, which just feels like there's nothing happening and it has to work too hard. This is relatively effortless. And the BMW M135i, well, the traitor car that has given up its 6-cylinder and went like everyone else, is better to drive. I think that's the best to drive of the three when you look at handling and attacking a B road. But it doesn't hold a candle to this one when you look at the capabilities to drive it every day, to drive it fast. And I prefer this interior too. And this car has the S-tronic double clutch gearbox, the AMG has a double clutch gearbox, and the M135i has the ASIN automatic gearbox, which is rubbish. So on the Autobahn, again, we are businessmen going to business, and you should be able to travel at speed in relative comfort. Now, top speed 250 kilometers an hour limited, or you are limited by the van that's in front of you. That's also an option at Audi, but we're going to remove that option now and floor it again. Here we go. So this is where the drivetrain feels impressive, because it doesn't really feel like a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It keeps pulling all the way to its top speed of 250 kilometers an hour, allegedly, because we actually measured it at 260 kilometers an hour GPS speed, which is really impressive. So here we are at 260 on the speedo. It is comfortable. It is relatively safe. You don't hear the engine anymore. But that is 266, 267 on the speedo, which I just love that. I just love it when a car surprises you and overachieves, especially when you look at performance. Now, as I said, it doesn't really feel like a meager 2-liter 4-cylinder, and Audi has tried to make it sound like a 5-cylinder. So when you have it in dynamic mode, this works best if you drive at like 80% throttle. What was I looking for? The automatic mode. There we go. So this that fake sound is, I think it's coming through the speakers, but it's not too intrusive, it's not too loud, and I really like that, especially after driving that Ford Focus ST recently, which was just hilariously bad. I think this is so much better. It's a little bit more in the distance, and they've definitely tried to make it sound like a 5-cylinder. So listen to this. Yeah, they definitely tried to put a little bit of an RS3 sound in there, which on paper I would say, well, why would you do that? But in real life it kind of works. It's kind of fun, especially because the exhaust is completely quiet, so you do need something of a sound. Now, performance wise, 100 to 200, this car actually performs really well. We recorded a 12.39 second 100 to 200, which is almost a second quicker than the previous S3, 0.8 of a second quicker than the previous one. So I would say that is very good. Here we go for one last pull. It's just a really good car. It's just a really good car, and I don't know if this is because I have grown up as well, but I really appreciate the grown-up character of this car. It doesn't try to be a hot hatch as much as a BMW M135i. It's okay with what it is, and it's very certain of that. It just feels very like a very confident car. It's not flamboyant, but it's dignified, and I really love that. And it's dignified because without even trying, or it doesn't look like it's trying, it's 1.1 seconds quicker from 100 to 200 than an M135i. And it's even 2 seconds quicker than an A35. So it's the most dignified one. It doesn't try to be a hot hatch as much as the other two. It's just a fast Audi, but it is the fastest of the three. And with that, we're going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video or go check out this playlist. See you at the next one. Bye guys.